We do have service. Okay. All right. So, hey guys, we are here today and we're live from Naugatuck State Forest. And we're on a mission and I'm going to be explaining exactly what we're going to be doing. So, but first, the team is all here and we're excited to be here. And that mission is we're going to be looking for the elusive Bigfoot. So I will be explaining exactly why we're here. But first I'm going to have Jean talk a little bit about the history because there's a couple of things going on here. We have some paranormal issues and we also have the Bigfoot issue. So Jean, if you want to tell us.
The forest was started by one of our good friends here in Naugatuck, the Whitmore family. Harris Whitmore, son of Jake H. Whitmore, who is partners with Master Tuttle, bought the original plot of land about this area down to the river in 1921 to start Whitmore State Forest. Harris passed away in 1928. His family purchased an additional 2,000 acres to fulfill his vision and gave it to the state. It was known as Whitmore State Forest at that point, and it eventually became known as Naugatuck State Forest. Toby's Rock is in High Rock area. The forest was the property of Toby, an 18th century Native American man who was kidnapped by Captain Ebenezer Johnson of Derby. Toby was emancipated in 1688. Toby then purchased the land in 1693. It is said that Toby has carved his name into the rock on his land. Legend says that Toby was giving his daughter to white men. In order to go with the white man, she drank a large amount of rum. Because of drinking this rum, she was so intoxicated that when she ran from those men, she fell to her death at High Rock. A second version of this legend says that a maiden from a different tribe threw herself to her death from the brink of the rocks. No matter who the woman was, she is said to be seen and heard screaming on the 20th of March and September. Then there's another legend of the giant man in the woods. This is the story as I read it. There also seems to be a giant that liked to roam the woods in the area as reported in the Danbury News on June 29th of 1988. Four Danbury men discovered a gigantic wild male last week in Cotton Hollow section of the high country between High Rock Grove and Naugatuck.
The reason why we're doing this, and it's because I actually received an email from a guy who wanted to share his Bigfoot encounter exactly here in this spot, the trail that we're about to be doing. So his sighting happened in 2023. He saw a large, hairy, humanoid-looking creature by the water. It was a spring day, like today. He wasn't out looking for Bigfoot. He was just had nobody else was around. It was just him and what he believes was a Bigfoot encounter. So recently there have been reports of people seeing bipedal creatures and hearing strange vocalizations and whooping sounds in remote areas of Connecticut. Even though Connecticut is low compared to other states, there does seem to be an uptick in Bigfoot sightings as we were talking about. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take this trail and we're going to look for, because it recently rained, we'll look for some tracks. Maybe we could find some footprints. We're going to pay attention to the surroundings, looking at trees, because Bigfoot is known for snapping and twisting, making structures like arches. We'll also look for large flattened areas used for beds and nesting. And according to Bigfoot experts, anything that's marked with an X is definitely a warning not to enter their territory. Some people claim that they get rocks and boulders thrown at them. We're also going to be trying the tree knockings, something that people, occasionally do to try to see if they get responses. So even though Bigfoot is known to be nocturnal, the sightings here took place during the day. He said mid-morning, afternoon. And I know this guy was telling the truth because he no longer will ever come here again. He totally does not want anything to do with this location. He hasn't talked about it. He hasn't told any of his friends. The only reason he emailed me was because he happened to stumble across our live about 2 weeks ago when we were trying to look for Bigfoot in another area of Connecticut. So he figured, you know what, let me tell my story. So the way he described this creature standing on the side of the water, like his shoulders were to the side, he said when it made eye contact with him, the whole body turned and looked at him. And he said before he knew it, it took two giant steps and it was gone into the brush and totally disappeared. So, I mean, we know that Bigfoot is a master of hiding. You know, we know that we might probably not even see him, but who knows? Maybe they're watching us, right? So this location has over 5,000 acres of property. So we're thinking, yeah, this could be a good location for a Bigfoot, right? Just looking at it, we haven't even gone into the woods. There's definitely hiding places. So maybe, we start taking that hike and maybe we'll get a blurry picture like everybody else does. But so let's see what happens. And also the other Bigfoot encounter that the person saw 3 that we were trying to check out the last time also took place during the daytime. So it really doesn't matter, even though a lot of these, experts believe that at night is the better time. I also have the thermal imaging camera, so we could use that and see if we feel like there's something in the woods. And Chris, you said, what did you bring for gifts?
Oh, yeah, I've got some neat rocks and some other interesting things, including a bundle of sage,
yeah,
with some, dandelion petals on it wrapped up. And I'm going to leave them just out of respect, just a sort of an offering to them if they are here. I think, we're basically, if they are here, we're basically in their living room or front yard or whatever. So it's always a good idea
to bring gifts, yeah.
To give them the respect
yeah.
and, be a good neighbor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bring over
so the theory behind that is that they do accept the gifts and...
Yeah, well, at least they acknowledge them. And sometimes they may take something from it and put something else there. That interaction happens a lot. I mean, usually it's over time, using the same gifting area. So this is more like just an offering from me. I don't expect.
Right.
Yeah, but we could check it on the way back.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It might be moved or something.
Yep. So we're definitely looking at a creature that's highly intelligent if they're able to do that, besides other things. I mean, this is really our first, as a group, our first outing as far as really going out and searching out Bigfoot. So even though it has a little bit to do with the paranormal because there's a lot of theories, but I mean, we're all excited, right? We're all excited to start our journey and see what we find. So let's get started. Dawn, I'm getting a shot of your, the back of your t-shirt. So it's a gorgeous day. It's a good day for Bigfoot to be out. He's taking a bath, yeah. Yeah, it's warm enough, right? Oh, that was another thing. I asked him. I said, did you smell the odor, that's associated with a sighting? And he said, honestly, I had no clue. At that point, all I could think about was I needed to get out of there. Wow. He said he didn't know how he got back to his vehicle. Wow. And he said he doesn't know how he drove home.
Yeah, that sounds like a real encounter.
Right, yeah, I thought so too. I mean, even though it left such an impression on him, he still wanted to share the story, which kind of, I think, he definitely does not want publicity, because I asked him if he wanted to come along with us, and he's like, absolutely not. Got friends who hunt, and he said he would never tell them what he saw, but he does warn them, saying that, there's definitely a lot of wildlife in the woods in Connecticut, and leaves it at that.
Sometimes I don't think people realize how much wildlife we actually have.
Yeah, right. Oh, so John, so you have a big interest in Bigfoot.
Yes,
How long? How long have you been interested?
Honestly, I could probably say at least a good 25 years or so.
Wow.
So I'm not an extrovert. I'm totally an enthusiast. And I like the thought of there being creatures out there. I mean, if I could believe in the paranormal and catch pictures, then how is it far-fetched that there can't be creatures like that?
Exactly. So why do you think that we've been having so many sightings in Connecticut?
Honestly,
just an opinion. Yeah.
Well, it's a couple of things. I think people are not afraid to talk so much now, because I think it was very shunned upon at one point, because as soon as you said, oh, I seen a spirit or a Bigfoot or anything else out of the realm of norm, right away the people would label you as, you're crazy.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
But, no, I'm not surprised. I mean, I was watching a show one time where they said that Connecticut's so small to pass through state, and it's, you know what?
I think that's changed.
Yeah, you know what? I don't care what it is. Wild animals and cryptids don't know state lines.
Exactly.
So whether
good point.
they are just walking through or have a den here, I think Connecticut's pretty alive with things.
Absolutely. So was there like one thing that really made you a Bigfoot believer?
Honestly, I've been watching, oh my God, so many shows and documentaries and reading and YouTube, and I'll tell you the one thing that was the most fascinating was the very first thing that ever came out, and that was the Patterson-Gimlin video. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because back then, everything was in its infancy. Whether it was home videos, costumes, or whatever it was, everything, you're talking the late 60s. I think it was like, 67 or something?
Yep.
So the thought is, who is going to go trampling around in the woods?
Right.
And when they do show the video, who is going to think about having breasts on this particular cryptid? And the fact that when it moves, you can see its musculature move. I mean, I'm sorry, this is late 60s.
Right.
You're not going to get that kind of costume.
No.
And just the way when it walked, there was nothing awkward about it. But the fact that it looked so authentic, and, especially back then, you gained nothing by lying. I think they called her Patty. I think
because it was a female. Yes.
You know what? You're not going to put that much thought into a hoax as to put breasts on it and
Good
put
point.
padding for muscle. So
good point.
Yeah.
Right. So so you've been watching a lot of the documentaries. What do you think that the Bigfoot diet consists of?
Hopefully not lost papers.